What's going on, everyone? Club Napier here from WeAreCritics.com, and I'm here with my man Gene. What's going on, man?
What's up with you? What's up with you, boy? I'm telling you,
Listen,
put it in the veins. Put it in my veins
yo,
right now.
listen, it's been a wild day. Like I've been excited all day. I've seen this already. I've seen the entire series. Shout out to Disney for hooking me up, hooking We Are Critics up. We were able to check out the all 9 episodes of the new Daredevil Born Again series, and I'm still excited, bro. Like I've been watching it nonstop. I know I've been telling you about it. I've been telling everybody about it, and I still sat down and watched the premiere just to get ready for this, so that we can actually sit down and kind of recap both episodes, episode 1 and 2. No spoilers for the rest of the season, but we're gonna get a little spoiler ish for episodes 1 and 2. So if you have not seen these episodes, I would recommend that y'all do not hang out. Go watch those episodes. Come back, chill with us, listen to what we got to say about this, and then the rest is history. But we're gonna be doing this every Tuesday. You with me every week? You with me
Yeah,
every week, G?
come on now. You know we
Okay,
locked
yeah,
in.
so every week, every Tuesday after the episode premieres, we're gonna try to get together, reconvene, and we're gonna break down the episodes, talk about things that we like, didn't like. I already have some things that I only have like one thing that I have a problem with, but we're gonna get into that. But let's talk. The first thing I want to know overall, Gene, because I've seen this um multiple times, and I had to watch episode 1 multiple times to kind of let myself know if I really liked it or not, because of the tones being a little bit different from what we know in Netflix and things of that nature. So I want to know out the gate, overall, what are your thoughts of the first 2 episodes when it comes to transition from Netflix to Disney Plus?
Funny enough, it feels darker. Like
Really?
it feels darker to me. I don't know why. I think it's that we get the sense that people are struggling with identity.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're struggling with the person that they actually are
Mm-hmm.
versus the person that they want to try to be. And anytime I get conflict, internal turmoil, internal conflict, sign me up for it. Like I think that's always the best way to present a character that we've been introduced to already, or characters that we've been introduced to already. People who are struggling with the dichotomy of the person that they know they are inside
Mm-hmm.
versus the
Mm-hmm.
person that they know that they want to be, because the other person's not long for this world. Like it's not good for this world that other person exists. So I really enjoyed it, and I think from that perspective, it made it just a little more darker because it didn't seem as much hope. Like I didn't feel the hope from it. I just felt inevitability.
That's so crazy that you say that, because that is like, and this is not a spoiler because it's in the synopsis, but that's primarily the overall theme of this season. The parallels between uh, your internal and your external person, your character, and who you are versus who you need to be when the time is right. And primarily, it's with our antagonist and our protagonist, Wilson Fisk and Matt Murdock. So it's kind of crazy that you picked up on that already in like the first 2 episodes. That's kind of dope.
Well, yeah, and for me, I'm not reading the synopsis. I don't want to be tricked, and I don't want to be pulled into something and then get there and
Yeah,
not feel
yeah.
that way. I want to come in with my own eyes, fresh, and absorb it for what it is, dissect it in the way it should be dissected, the way I feel
Hmm.
it should be accepted, and then just pass it on to the people. And I think that it's like Matt Murdock's character,
Yeah.
um he just, and I'm talking about his character, like who he is,
Hmm.
right? Who Matt Murdock is, seems to be someone who's almost disgusted with the way he has to behave when he doesn't get to be Daredevil. He's like, oh my god, like you you peons, like he just doesn't. You can tell that it's something missing. It's something missing from him
Yeah.
when he doesn't get to put the mask on, and go full, Daredevil. So I
Yeah.
think that's interesting.
All right, so I'm gonna tell you my overall thoughts of this series going in, but I'm also gonna tie it into the next topic, which is least favorite moment versus and what your favorite moment of the episode is. Off rip, just first reaction. So I'm gonna set it off with my least favorite thing about the season, which ties into my overall thoughts of the transition from Netflix to Disney Plus. I probably am in the minority about this. I don't know, but I don't really like episode one. Like I've tried, I've watched it multiple times. I've been trying to like figure out what it is that I don't like about it, but I think I pinpointed it, especially today. And I have issues with the cinematography. Like I don't feel like the first episode has an identity. I feel like they're throwing spaghetti at the wall, trying things with lighting, trying things with choreography, trying things with tone and music, and it's a mess to me. Like, and this is just solely based on what I already know from the Netflix series going into this one. Like, and I get it, it's two totally different things. It's supposed to be, but for me, the first episode is a hard watch, and I find myself every time I watch it, I'm just kind of shuffling through that opening, and then once the drama starts, and then you get that moment with Fisk and him in the diner, and we'll get into that. But once we get to that, I'm okay. But that opening scene, the lighting, the nighttime, the comic booky swinging, and it's a lot for me, bro. Like I'm still trying to process, do I like it or do I? Is it something? Why do I not like it?
Yeah. Okay. So I wasn't a big fan of that opening scene either. The CGI looked really like
Oh,
hokey to me.
yeah,
It didn't look fluid. It looked it looked Ben Affleck Daredevilish.
yeah.
It looked like the Ben Affleck Daredevil when he was swinging through, and it just looked weird. And then even the fighting with
Mm-hmm.
him and I mean not Deadshot, Bullseye.
Bullseye.
Um,
Yeah,
you know, the fighting between them two was just really awkward. And it
yeah,
was
man.
supposed to, I can tell it was supposed to be brutal, but like brutality isn't all of this flipping and spinning and quick movements. And it was like nobody can do that for as long as those two were doing it, and it made it look unrealistic. And even down to the way that they tried to rush the storyline for Matt Murdock to give up being Daredevil, right?
Mm.
Are we gonna spoil it for people who haven't seen
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
episode one
Listen
yet?
again,
How the
again.
hell do
Fair.
you kill Foggy like
Hold on,
this,
hold on, hold
man?
on, hold on. Let me put
Like,
out
what were you
a
doing?
disclaimer first. Full warning. This is going to be a spoiler-ish talk. We're going to be talking about the first two episodes of Daredevil, so we're going to say some things. So if you have not seen
Yeah,
them and you don't want to know what happened in the episode, please go watch them and then maybe come back and check us out when you get another chance. Okay, yes.
yeah.
Bullseye's back.
And
Foggy is gone. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna spoil a whole lot. Like, because
Yeah, I am.
I can talk about this without talking about a ton of specifics, because
Yeah.
really it was all about like the feeling and the
Hmm.
vibe for me
Yeah.
in these first two.
Hmm.
And you killed Foggy clearly. Like there was no other way to get him to get off the sauce, was to you had to kill his man's. Like you had to
Yeah,
kill. Uh, uh,
I feel like it's dramatic. I feel like as dramatic as this series gets, and it's good. They could have held on to that for maybe two more episodes.
you
I
you
really like. I really feel like they didn't have to blow their load 5 minutes in. Like
no,
literally, it's like
like
five
literally
minutes in, bro.
like 7 minutes in, Foggy's on the ground bleeding out. Like like okay, so you kill Foggy.
Yeah,
You essentially destroy the relationship with him and his girl. Which, by the way, they try to make they try to make seem like it's going to be a real relationship brewing back
yeah,
up in like
hmm,
the first 3 minutes of,
yeah.
like
Switching bait.
within 7 minutes, they reconciled everyone, made
Hmm.
everything super happy go lucky, brought in the new character that they were going to go, or the new two characters that they were going to go forward with, killed
Yeah,
off Foggy, and then got rid
Yeah.
of what's her name? I always the blonde Karen,
Karen.
and then
Yeah.
got Karen the f out of there. Like, come on,
Yeah.
man, what are we doing here? And then
Yeah.
and then not even to jump that far ahead, but you already got him with another chick. Like, come on,
Yeah.
what are we
Well,
doing?
I mean, if we're
Like,
gonna be fair, she's from the comic. She's also from the comic too. But all
it's
right,
just
so we
so
talked about.
quick. It's just so
I
quick.
don't
That's
want I
all.
don't want to dwell I don't want to dwell too much on the stuff that we don't like because yes, they're minimal, and I know on your end they're very minimal. But for me, yeah, it's cinematography in the first
Yeah,
episode. I
for
am
sure.
not feeling it at
Nah,
all. But um, it does redeem itself. There's a lot of dramatic moments. There's a lot of on-screen moments, performances that are just knocking it out the park where you just kind of dismiss any of that little minimal stuff. So let's get into let's talk about some of these new characters because you brought up new characters. We got Kristen McDuff, who's now Matt Murdock's partner, also from the comic, but
hmm
and then we got the Cherry, which is the gentleman who catches him on the rooftop in the beginning, who was retiring, and now he's like a private eye for McDuffie and Murdoch, their new law firm. So, what are you feeling about these new characters that are in? For me, it's like Cherry's the new Foggy, and Kirsten's the new Karen. Dynamic wise, what do you think? How you
I
like them yet?
I have no heart for them yet. Like, they're just
Mm,
there right now.
yeah,
They're just there. They're means to an end. They're ways for him to be able to navigate like
yeah,
the world. I'm
yeah,
hoping that there becomes more heart, as we go on. But right now, it's just, I mean, you just threw these characters at me. Like,
yeah.
at one point, Foggy was trying to hook up with her, and now she's your partner. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's
And you
just
wanna know
so quick.
what's even
Yeah.
more awkward is in the comic is Murdoch and her have a relationship
Well,
in the
we know
comic. So
Murdoch. If you know anything about Matt Murdoch's gonna get to the ladies.
yeah,
Matt
yeah,
Murdoch he is going to Ray Charles the ladies for sure.
yeah,
I've always appreciated that about Matt Murdoch, even back to the comic books. I
yeah,
do how I am trying to come to grips with Vanessa and
yeah,
how
yeah, yeah, yeah.
sinister
Well,
Vanessa
listen,
feels.
we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get it because that's more or less episode two. So I want to keep
Yeah,
talking
but
episode one.
we see her in one though.
Yeah, yeah, but
Like,
we get a
she's
little bit more. We get a little bit more of her in episode two, and yeah,
for
when we
sure.
do get introduced to her in episode one, is when we kind of get reintroduced to Fisk. Um, and yeah, Vanessa's like kind of head of the table right now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's kingpin.
yeah,
Like, they
Queen Pin,
say it, but
Queen Pin.
she's queen pin, right? Like,
Yeah,
and the way she looks, like, there's not the whatever innocence you saw in her over in
mm-hmm.
Netflix. Don't expect to see
Yeah,
that here.
yeah,
Whatever
yeah.
happened between that time, it is gone.
I
That
like
is over with.
I like that you're picking up on some of the nuances so early on because I'm trying so hard to not chime in. Like I don't want to leak anything. I don't want to say anything, but like you're sniffing the right hydrant, I should say.
Yeah, no, it was good.
You're lifting your leg around the right hydrant.
I really liked the like how she saw what he did, you
Mm.
know, and revolutionized it and made it
Yeah.
cleaner, made it. And
Mm.
I even like what she said, like how she made everybody buy into her. It wasn't because of fear. It was
Yeah.
because of how she was able to make them money. And that is
Loyalty.
so
Yeah.
true. You're going to be
Yeah.
more, you're going to be loyal. Loyalty is going to get you a whole lot more, a lot further in life than fear is. Because
Mm-hmm.
the moment that someone sees another person stand up to you, fear goes away. But when
Mm-hmm.
you see somebody stand up to you,
Mm-hmm.
and you have loyalty, they go and rock for you. So I think that that's I think that that's fly. And so I want to see how far they're going to take her and what she descends into in this new
Yeah.
queen pin role.
I'm not even gonna. Yeah, yeah. It's quite a ride. The humanity that they put forth between Vanessa and Fisk and their relationship is great for the series, and Fisk's arc is some of the best stuff of the series. Um, but I want to talk more about some of these new characters because we do get introduced, like you said, into another female or a love interest for Matt Murdock. Which, do we even need the love interest with Matt Murdock? Like, I feel like there's a lot of things that I feel like they're like forcing on the Matt character, especially now in time of grief. It's like they're trying to keep some of those traits about him that we know, but it's like they're butting heads because it's like, would that be happening right now? Like so fast, so quick. It's only like a year later, and he's already in like a living situation. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's like going hardcore with this new chick.
I here's what I'm thinking. Matt
Hmm.
Murdock craves connection.
That is true
And because he craves connection,
because
because
he's an orphan.
connection is the only thing that keeps him from going to that darker side,
Hmm.
right? Because he craves connection, he's constantly he's constantly allowing people in faster than he probably should,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
because he's so charismatic and different
Hmm.
and gregarious when he wants to be,
Yep.
these women are eating that up. I mean, we listen, Clep, we've been around. We've seen some things. Like we've been around, we've seen some things. The Matt Murdock playbook plays for everybody. You don't even have to be blind for it to work. Like
Yeah.
if you can be that type of personality, you're going to attract them in. So you're going to
Yeah.
find whatever it is you're looking for. And so I think in his case, you know, ooh, new connection seems
Hmm.
genuine. I
Hmm.
have the ultimate lie detector, so I can meet a woman and tell if she's full of it or if she's
Oh, I know.
genuine,
I forgot about that.
right?
Yeah, he can tell right on the spot.
So he knows immediately he almost knows somebody's heart
Yeah.
immediately. Like,
Yeah.
and
So he
so
knew. Yeah. So he knew from jump he had that in the bag.
yeah, yeah,
That's great.
it,
It's interesting that they
it's a
didn't even
cheat
show
code.
that either. Yeah, they didn't even show that either, which would have been kind of intrusive but cool at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, like you got to think. You know what I think, and this not to sully the Marvel name with a DC name, but you want to know what I've never quite understood? Why
What?
we don't get scenes of Superman abusing his power?
Yeah, no.
Like
I
we
mean, you
never
never
get
know.
this.
We got James Gunn in the chair now. We never
We'll
know. That
we'll
guy.
see. We'll see. I think it's
I,
interesting, but we hear Daredevil using it, and you just have to assume that he doesn't just turn the lie detector off when he meets new people. It's
oh
just
yeah, no,
automatically
never.
on, right?
I think it's constantly on. And what did you, speaking of that, what did you think of that new way that they were showing his ability? Because these guys talked about it a lot in their junkets when they were doing press about that new way that they were showing his abilities working. Like for instance, when Foggy stepped out on the phone,
Yeah.
and you got like that little slow zoom in on the face, and then everything else is like vertical, like you know what I mean? Do you like that? Because we didn't get that in Netflix.
Yeah, I think if you want to show how he's able to do what he's able to do, I guess it's a good little trick. Do I think it's necessary?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's necessary, but I'm not mad at it. It is a little interesting that he's able not only is he able to hear, but he's
Mm-hmm.
able to like amplify.
Yeah.
Like he can turn it up and down. Whereas a lot of the things that we heard about Daredevils in the past is he had to kind of tune things out. And it seems that
Mm.
this version of
Yeah.
Daredevil, he has much more control over
Yeah.
his powers, his sense of hearing, his sense of smell, his understanding of touch. He seems
Yeah.
to have a lot more heightened awareness of how to utilize those gifts more now than he did maybe in past iterations.
Yeah, nah, definitely, definitely right. Yo, I want to give a shout out to Jay Nasty who's in the building. He's not even supposed to be in this stream right now. He's supposed to be catching up on seasons 2 and 3. That's Cash's little man. Um,
Oh, that's what's
and
up.
yeah, and
Yo,
he's like
shout out to Jay Nasty.
he couldn't contain it, so he had to step in. I'm like, all right, man. I'm told him we're gonna be talking spoilers, so you in here, you hear something you don't want to hear, it's on you.
Yeah.
Um, so let's talk about one of my favorite characters in this series, and I had a lot to say about him in my overall review when I reviewed the entire series. Michael Gandolfini's Daniel Blade. Um, he's a special character to me. I want to know your first thoughts on his introduction in this series when you saw him pop up. James
Um,
Gandolfini's son.
cornball, fake it till you make it type of dude. Like, and I say that, and I say that with some reverence, right? Because he's
Oh,
trying
with a
to
little
figure it
respect.
out. Yeah, he's trying to
Yeah,
figure it out.
yeah,
He and he's faking it until he makes it. He's doing it on the fly. He's just throwing stuff out there to see if it
yeah.
sticks. He's trying to make things, but clearly you can tell he is his trajectory is operator. His trajectory is I'm going to be the guy that gets things done, right? They
Yeah,
allude to it when they talk about him getting the 20,000 signatures. You
yeah.
know,
Oh, yeah. That was a good like s- giving us info about his character without so much
yeah.
dialogue and scenes. What I liked about him is that, and I say this in the review, you guys can check out my full non-spoiler review on wearecritics.com. That's We Are Critics with an X. You can check it out. I say that he, to me, is like the voice of the younger audience. The the hot shot. He's relevant. He knows how to make Fisk buzz in this era of social media and all that hoopla that a lot of people if Fisk's age wouldn't know anything about. So I feel like this is his wheelhouse, and he's in the right space to kind of shine. So I had an immediate respect for him from jump. I was like, okay, I see what they did. It's not so like old school grown ups in politics. They inject a younger person on purpose so that it doesn't come off so boring when they're talking, the political stuff in the city and things like that. He's like the voice of the city, the younger people who will be potentially the future. You know what I mean? So that's why he meant a lot to me when I saw him in this show. I was like, oh, that's dope that they inserted a character like him in that. And I think he murders it. Like first episode in, I'm like, I like this guy already.
Yeah, and I think it's an interesting decision by the writers to
Mm-hmm.
write in a younger audience
Mm-hmm.
into the
Yeah.
actual into the actual show. Like we're trying
Yeah.
to draw a younger demographic in by inserting a younger demographic into the actual, into the actual show, and
Yeah.
and showing how that younger demographic can have legs and move and sway decision making. He got elected because of the young people
He
who
did.
said,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Yeah.
who looks at the criminal kingpin as a flex and not
Yep.
as not as a guy who um is like some old fogey, like old school mafioso dude, but really
Yeah.
more like, yo, that's fly. That's what I've been seeing in my, in my movies. That's what I've been listening to in my music. We talk
Yeah.
about we talk about how a lot of times the musicians and the rappers get people to emulate what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that what we see there is the impact of a kind of OG Unk kind of feel that people are like, yo, Unk is on something. I want to that to me that's fly, that's cool. And so it's interesting how they use the bringing in the younger crowd, even with the young reporter that they're trying to
Yeah.
utilize to get the
Yeah.
message across, right? I, oh, even the scene when he's filling the hole, right? And I know
Oh
I'm
yeah.
jumping
Yeah. Yeah.
ahead,
Yeah.
but just the scene where they fill the hole and they go out and everybody pulls their cell phone out.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
some
They.
new that's some new stuff. That's
Yeah.
relevant, that's right now. And I think they've done a great job of fast forwarding this into the
Now.
now
Yeah.
instead of
But
being wherever it is.
My man Mayhem Madness has just finally got here, so I'm gonna add him up in here real quick and see what's going on. What up, man?
What's up with
Look at this guy. Look at him. He's like laid back, sleeping. He don't look like he just watched Daredevil.
I
You don't
did.
look. You don't
I
look
did.
like you just watched it. You should
I
be
did.
upright. You should be upright, ready to talk, ready to like. Listen,
Oh no.
I'm gonna
I
ask you. I'm
came
gonna
in
ask you
like
this.
this. I was like, ah.
I'm gonna ask you because we're already about to get into episode two, but there's one more topic that we're going to talk about before we get to that. But I want to ask you before we get to the last topic, least favorite moment in this season, in the first episode,
Least favorite moment.
and favorite moment.
You know what? You were right.
I,
You were
okay,
right.
what I tell you?
And you know what? It's really it was really really wonky.
Yeah, I told you, man.
For
And I,
coming
I
for
I felt like I was a hater. I felt like I was a hater.
No, for coming from the Netflix to this, it was wonky. The seed, yeah, a lot of it
Bro,
was really.
and I'm a diehard Daredevil fanatic. That's my number one Marvel character, superhero character, period. And I'm watching this episode, and I'm just like, I, why can't I like it? Like, why can't I like this episode, man? Like, yeah,
It was
I
just
don't know.
very. I don't understand. I didn't understand their transitionings and just the
Yeah,
look. I don't understand. I didn't understand. I don't understand why they went that route.
yeah, it was a little too stylish for me. It got good, like what I mean, like, and let's talk about that specifically. That moment, where it actually gets really good is when Fisk and Matt finally bump heads for the first time in what 7 years since 2018, and they go to the diner and like, and they have that moment going into episode two. What was that like for you guys to see that? Was it everything you thought of, or did they give us too much in the trailer?
They, I wouldn't say that they gave us too much in the trailer. I would say that it was. I know everybody that watched the Netflix was more kind of felt like relieved, like, oh, we're finally here. We're
Yeah, yeah,
finally
yeah,
getting the standoff.
yeah.
I liked how they were sparring with each other. But in a way, it kind of felt like a little forced to me, a little bit.
Really,
Yeah.
Gene, what do you
When
think
I was,
about that? How'd that feel for you?
I really liked it. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. I liked it, and I'll tell you why. I think when you walk in, you're leading. We know that Matt Murdock's been checking him out. He
Mm,
wants to see if this is the same old, or if this really is something new. And he even alludes to it in his little speech. He's willing to give it a he's willing to give it a go, but he don't really buy it. He don't really buy it.
yeah,
And I like the
yeah.
fact that he starts it off by letting Fist know in no uncertain terms, yo, I will F you up in here. You don't weigh the same. You ain't got the same amount of muscle mass no more. I've already read you down by the way you were walking. I know you light work. I know you
Bro said,
light work these
bro,
days.
bro said your steps a little lighter.
Your
Like,
steps a
yo,
little lighter. You've lost some weight, some muscle mass.
I don't know about y'all, but I would take offense to that. Somebody told me, yo, your steps are a little lighter. What you
Oh,
mean? What you trying to say?
oh,
right?
Fist took
You trying to say I'm light?
took offense. He took offense. He said, "Yo, man, I ain't trying to spar you.
Yeah,
I ain't
for
trying to
real,
spar
for
you."
real.
And then not to be outdone, Fisk on the back end letting them know, "Hey, bro, when I win,
Mm,
you ain't gonna be able to do none of that stuff you was doing to me.
yeah, man.
I'm not going for none of it. I know who you are. I know how you get down. So you ain't gonna be able to just run around here, getting your vigilante joint off while I'm here because I know who you are. I thought it was a perfect, hey, I'm on your ass. and him going, "Hey, I'm on you too." Like, pause. We ain't even gotta play like we're friends. We gonna let each other rock. But if you get out of line, I'm right on your neck. And I think that was a perfect tone to set for what we know is going to eventually be some clashing, especially once you get into episode 2. Yo, Fist couldn't wait. It's hilarious. This dude just has no. He's got zero chill whatsoever. He's zero chill.
Yeah, I listen. So let me ask you guys this, because, like I said, I've seen the rest of it. When you guys going into this episode and you watch it, do you guys believe Fisk? Do you think that he's actually changed? Do you think that he's on a different mindset?
Yes, yes.
So you gen
I believe he's on a different mindset.
okay,
Right. I don't think he's changed. I just think he's on a different mindset. Right.
okay.
This
That's
is the
it.
kingpin, though. This is the kingpin. If what we already know about the kingpin, he has an ulterior motive with everything. I don't. Yeah, I think you know what he wants people because of already how of what people already know as the kingpin. I believe that
Mm-hmm.
there he wants yeah, in the public eye he wants them to look at him different, but he's already 10 steps ahead. Get people to look at me in this different light, but I'm already still doing dirt on the side. It's been like that since the Netflix. He hasn't changed up. He hasn't changed up anything. But
I don't
he's
know.
if
So
anything, he's just been a little smarter, I think.
Fear and loyalty. I'll go back to
okay.
those two. I'll go back to those two words. Fear and loyalty. In
So we
the
got
old
one. So
Fisk,
so Gene. So Gene, you're saying he's on a different mindset, but do you think he's genuinely has best interest for the city?
yeah, he thinks he's the best interest for the city. The way that he's always thought that he was the best interest for the city. So
Oh,
like
so he's on a Thanos shit right
he's
now. Is
on the
that what he's
same
saying?
thing he's been on. It's just that he's got a different mindset on how to get there now. Right? I
Okay.
tried to do this from the criminal underbelly. Now I'm going to do it from the political side and see
Mm-hmm.
if I can run ish the way that I want to run it on this end. I just think there's a different angle being pushed, but at the end he's still the same him, the same way that Matt Murdock is still the same Matt Murdock. It don't matter what he's trying to get people to convince, and I think that's the when what we were talking about earlier, like that internal struggle. Who you
Yeah,
are is
yeah.
going to eventually come out, and I think that we have that already brewing through 2 episodes with Fisk and with Matt Murdock.
And you agree with him, Nick? You think that he's up to his kingpin shit?
Yeah, I still think he's on his kingpin state. But like you said, he does want people to look at him in a different light. But at the end of the day, it's like you said, he's still the city needs him, and he's still on his same kingpin shit. Yeah,
I feel like that's like the Thanos complex. You know what I mean? Where the villain thinks that nothing that they do is wrong. Their way is the right way. I want to get into episode 2 before it gets related. I want to really jump into episode 2. But Nick, before we switch over, I want to ask you a question because we talked about Bullseye's back, Foggy's gone. What was your reaction when you saw that?
I had a feeling that Foggy was going to be gone. I had a
Yeah.
feeling. I didn't think that he was gonna die. I thought that he was gonna be hurt,
Really?
and
7 minutes
then
in,
yeah, I did not see him dead, like dead. I didn't see that.
I knew. Listen, it was either him or Karen or both. That's what my mind was always from going in from jump. I was like, it's one or the other or both.
I thought it was going to
Um,
be maybe him getting hurt, being in the hospital, him having to recoup, and Daredevil doing
mm,
his thing, and then like maybe towards the end, him coming back like, oh, he healed up, he's good. But to just take him right off like that, yeah, I didn't
yeah.
see that. I didn't see that.
Wow. Okay.
any
So
is there
all right.
any
So we got.
chance? Let me ask you something.
Go
Is there
ahead.
any chance that you think they recorded that first scene after they did everything, and that's why it's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
super
I.
corny
I.
and wonky?
I absolutely believe that when they went back in the, because a lot of people don't know the story, that when they initially was doing this series, it wasn't going to be connected to the older Netflix series. They were going to completely reboot it and do something different. And after during the strike, thank God the strike happened, because uh, when the strike happened, Feige and then looked at what they had, and it just wasn't working for him. He was like, "No, we're going back. We're redoing this whole thing." They went and got the older cast, brought them back, and then they went forth. So I think that they just took some of the stuff that they already had and shoehorned. And what's her name? Ann Wall and what is his name? I always miss his name. Elson, and Deborah brought them back to do Foggy and Karen, and this is what we got. I mean, it's done so poorly, man. Anybody that's glazing that opening scene and that fight scene, because you saw
You're
that, Nick.
bananas. You're
They leaked
bananas.
the you saw that when they leaked the fight scene, right, Nick?
No.
Yeah, Marvel put it out, like officially put out that scene, like a little short piece of the fight scene, and I'm like,
Yeah, I did
yeah.
the clip
So,
of them
and
fighting.
I'm watching the internet go crazy about it, and I'm just like, God, they just have no
This ain't
idea.
it.
Like,
This ain't
the
it.
choreography is so sloppy, and they tried to recreate the one shot, and it was just so bad. Like, that one shot is iconic for the Netflix series. I don't even know why you guys are trying to do it. Like, it's really bad. Like that. e- The overall thing that I see when I watch episode one is like there's so much strobe, LED, and smoke machines.
Mm.
That's literally like every scene. Like,
Yeah.
and and it just didn't work for me. But I wanna move on. Episode one in the bag, guys and girls. If you need to go check it out, if you haven't watched Daredevil Born Again yet, yes. Episode one is my least favorite episode, but I guarantee by the end of that episode, you're gonna walk away with something that you love about the Netflix Daredevil, or just Daredevil in period. But now we're getting into episode two, which starts off. This is when it gets really good. Opening scene, we get Hector Ayala, right? We get the Hector Ayala case. Um, the what is that? The platform in the subway. A police officer gets accidentally killed. A man is going to jail or might go to jail, and Matt Murdock has to step in to save the day. And we get the Hector Ayala character. Um, Off rip, let's talk about least favorite moment in episode two and favorite moment in episode two. One of you guys can take it.
Man,
Because
okay.
I honestly think episode two is perfect. So
Yeah.
I don't have much.
Episode two is dope. Episode two is dope. But I will say, um, least favorite moment is the conversation um between
Karen
Murdoch
and
and
Karen.
yeah, like
I could see that. I could see that.
come on. Like
I could
like
see
what we
that.
doing? Like, just leave already. Like just go.
Yeah.
Like if you ain't trying to be here, you ain't just go. Like you
You
messing up the vibe right now. Like get out of here. You
you
know,
know
I
what
just
though?
didn't
You
like
know
it.
what? I'm tripping. I'm tripping. You know what? No, there are some dumb moments in episode two, but there's so much goodness around it that I don't care. Do you have a least favorite, Nick? Before I talk about mine?
Um, no, not really.
Yeah, it is a near perfect.
It was pretty okay for me.
It's a near perfect episode. I'm not gonna lie, but I will give you mine. Mine's is logistics. Mine's is detail. Mine's is okay. We are attending Foggy's trial, yet no one from his family is there. Karen's not testifying, and she was the one person with him last.
Mm.
Sentencing. It
So
was the sentencing.
yeah,
I
but
think that's what it was.
Why was Matt on the stand though?
Because you know, in a
He wasn't
sentencing,
even there.
the victims in a
Matt
senate
was I know that's what I'm saying. Matt was
when
on
you
the
do
stand
the
though.
when you do the sentencing, they bring up like family members of the in of the victim to plead their case on why the convicted needs to get XYZ penalty. Like
So
you
you
get
think
that
that
at
the
it.
family? So you think the family just put Murdoch up there and said, "Do it for us"?
If you there was a conversation that he was having with his new partner,
Mm-hmm.
where she was talking about, hey, your speech up there, that like she was kind of
Yeah,
setting him up for it. I just
yeah,
think that they know that he's a really good orator, and he's going to get the he's I mean he's Foggy's closest friend, so I mean
yeah. But when you go back to the Netflix series, I mean, they went out of their way to give us a lot of Foggy's backstory, and we saw his family. We saw how close the Nelsons were. I just
they
don't
had to
see any
button
of this going
they
down.
had to
I don't
button it
see
He
any
up.
of
even
this
had
going
his
down.
girlfriend there.
They
That's what I'm
had to
saying,
button it
though.
up.
I just don't see any of this going down without the meat market family
Mhm.
at this thing and that's only because of the way they sold it to us when we first got introduced to Foggy in the Netflix series. And I hate to keep comparing it and bringing it up, but if you're gonna roll over the storyline, you got to stay a little consistent with character development and character traits. I just think that Foggy Foggy was the complete opposite of Matt. Like Matt doesn't really have any family. Foggy had that dynamic. So even if they were there to support Matt, I still think that somebody, and even the brother, would have been there. You know what I mean? So I, it was a little far fetched for me, but I will say that that scene between Murdoch and Karen is it's a little uncomfortable because it almost feels like that happened out of nowhere, and it's like with all this history that you guys got, it's just like he said, he's like, it sucks that it took a tragedy to break it all apart. And she's like, "Yeah, that's what happened." You know what I mean? That was
Yeah,
weird. It just like completely estranged. Like it's
yeah.
like
It's
she
just
couldn't even
like
look at him.
really, like why are you disgusted at him? Man lost his
Mm,
best friend. Like
yeah,
women be choosing the most inopportune times to not be supportive. Like it's the craziest thing ever.
and
Like I don't
he
even
knew
be
Foggy
understanding.
longer.
Yeah, like
He-
what? Like homie, you just came round. Like in the grand scheme of things, like let me
yeah,
grieve, let me do it the way I need to do it, or like why are you taking so much umbrage with it? And if it's like that, then just go. Like
yeah,
ugh. It was just so it was an annoying like little bickering back and forth. It almost felt like brother sister at one point. Not
yeah,
like a
yeah,
man and a woman who were about to be together. Cause that's what they were
yeah,
leading us to believe in episode one, that they were about to get that old thing back. Right.
yeah,
And so like you go from that to where we left it at, and she's just out. It's like okay, bye. And you knew this was a one off because he rolled right into a brand new relationship. Like
yeah. He did.
no time. I don't know. It's annoying, to say
Nick,
the
what do you
least.
think? What do you think about that scene between Karen and Matt in the courthouse? Is that were you satisfied with that? Oh, is he frozen on us right now?
Yeah, he might
Oh,
be
he's
frozen.
frozen. He's frozen on us. Let's see if I can get him back. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's gone. All right, so let's talk about. We got Daniel Blade back, Michael Gandolfini's character, and then we got
Hmm.
introduced to a new young hotshot, which we talked about in episode one, BB Urich, who's related, and we got a gist of who she's related to. I didn't want to talk about that in my review because I didn't want to spoil that moment, but now we know.
Hmm.
Cat's out the bag. She is the niece of Ben Urich from the original Daredevil series. Um, what'd you think about that character? Like, what do you? How did? First of all, her introduction was in episode one, but behind the camera, they were doing
Hmm.
like this little documentary thing where they were kind of like showing off the city and the people's thoughts about the election, and I thought that was cool. That was actually one of the cool moments for me. I like that they did that. So what do you think about this character overall, and what she's bringing into this as a journalist of today?
Yeah, I think that's what you're getting. You're getting new media, right?
Hmm.
She's a representation of new media, um,
Yeah.
guerrilla style media. Cell phone. He makes sure that when
I
I'm saying, when
can't
she's
hear
meeting
anything.
thing, that she's getting the like cell phone. is a big thing, and so he's making sure he got her cell phone so she can't record things. Like she represents how she represents how journalism is done today, and obviously, being in that world,
Hmm.
she looks just like a lot of the YouTube, TikTok, Instagram journalists that you see that are
Yeah,
just putting things together and getting it out there for the people. But which makes sense when you say, oh, well, if you're going to have a news person attached to this, it's got to be somebody that resonates with what or how news is disseminated today, and not necessarily your newspaper newsman or your local reporter.
yeah. Um, I like that dynamic. I feel like it adds a little bit more layer to the whole Wilson Fisk arc, considering the fact we know his relationship with her uncle, and bringing her in this is I just thought it was pretty cool, and I think the actress is pretty great. Her name is Genia Walton, I believe. Yeah, Genia Walton. I think that she does a really great job just in this show. Period. A lot of the newbies in this are really holding their own with these heavyweights, specifically around Fisk. Anyone in a scene with Fisk is just they're
Yeah,
they're they're holding their own. They're holding their own because
that whole group,
yeah.
I think that there's a great like synergy between that group, and it
Hmm.
would make sense because that's the group that's going to be the closest to him
Yeah,
as he goes through his run as mayor. They're going to be privy to things that maybe they shouldn't be privy to. You
yeah,
can already see that setting up in the way in which they end episode 2. Not to jump far ahead right now.
yeah. No, we're gonna get into a lot of that right now because I want to talk about this Hector Ayala character and the big reveal. And I wish Nick was in here because I know this is like his thing, but he's having technical difficulties right now, so we can't even get him in. Hector Ayala, he's going through his court case, and they stumble up. They get a snag. They can't get the witness, so Matt figures out a different way to get to kind of win over the jury by exposing Hector's secret. And then we get the big reveal that Hector is, in fact, the White Tiger, who is another vigilante that's been running the streets of New York, representing the Bronx, the Puerto Ricans in New York City. What do you think about the reveal? Like, what did you know? Were you shocked? Did you know from jump already or no?
I had seen the spoilers of like a white tiger, but I didn't put two and two together until he looked at the suit.
Okay,
Like
yeah,
I didn't know that
yeah,
was going to be it. I just
yeah.
was like, oh, because it feels like they're giving us a lot in these first two episodes, right?
Man, you
It
ain't
feels
you
like
ain't
they're
seen
giving us
nothing.
a lot, and I get it because you only got 9 episodes. You only got nine
9 episodes.
episodes, so you gotta
Yeah.
you gotta get it. You gotta get it popping. But I thought it was dope because now you have Matt Murdock, who
Mm-hmm.
we know as a vigilante,
Yep.
representing a vigilante but not
Yeah.
representing him when he was trying to be a vigilante. He was just trying to be a good dude.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting, um, like how again they're playing on the inner turmoil of Matt
Mm.
Murdock. Matt Murdock, who knows without a shadow of a doubt this man is innocent,
Mm-hmm.
right? He knows
Yeah.
it, and yet, like everybody who knows him or the people who know who he is knows he probably has a soft spot for this vigilante dude, right?
Yep.
And then the
Yep.
people who don't know who he really is are just looking at him with the disdain of somebody that looks at a vigilante, and now he can almost put himself in the place of that dude
Yeah.
as he's getting the slings and arrows at him from being said vigilante. So like
Yeah.
so many different layers of emotion and dealing with that inner turmoil for Murdoch. I thought it was excellently played.
Yeah. Nick's back. Yo, perfect timing, man. Can you good?
Yeah, yeah, I'm good.
So we're talking about the Hector Ayala moments and the big reveal of his secret in the courtroom. Well, before the courtroom and then spilling into the courtroom. And I wanted to know, what did you think of like that whole introduction from the case in the beginning and then it dragging out throughout the entire episode. I just want to say that for me, I think that this episode really is a gut punch to She-Hulk because I
Yeah.
feel like this is the blue. I said this in my review that this is the blueprint of everything She-Hulk could have been. Where it's like that freak of the week, Law and Order, CSI type series with vigilantes in it. Like, because there's serious things going on. He has case after case. You're gonna see multiple cases. I don't want to like give it spoiled and things of that nature, but and not all of them are superhero related. You're just gonna see the lawyer doing lawyer shit. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I feel like that's where they dropped the ball with She-Hulk because it's just campy stuff. It's like campy, jokey things, but we never got like serious cases like how we're getting in Daredevil, where a man's life is on the line, like you said, for just trying to do the right thing, even though no one knows he's secretly a vigilante. You know what I mean? And these are things that could have been going on in She-Hulk that they just literally dropped the ball on. So, what'd you think about that, Nick? Them bringing in, first of all, what'd you think about them doing this in episode two?
I thought they would have done it a little more into the series.
Yeah.
I like that we got to see him, and then we
Hmm.
got to see who he is, and brought right into like a problem.
Yeah.
I wish that we would have got a little more one on one seeing him actually doing his vigilante thing,
Yeah.
besides seeing it in like a phone like we got it.
Yeah. It was
But
like on the TV. They saw it in the
yeah,
bar,
I would have wanted to
Josie's.
see a little more of him, like maybe a scene of him fighting or something, and let's getting to know him, and then seeing us jump into how he got caught up. I
Yeah.
thought that was a little weird, but I like what I see so far with him. I like it. I like it.
Okay. I I cannot wait for you guys to see episode three. I'm
So
just telling
threes.
you, three's two, three, and four are my favorite episodes.
Hey, I'm just gonna
Um,
tell you, you're gonna have to stop saying that you said it. I'm gonna have to jump on a plane if you keep on telling me like,
well, you got till noon tomorrow, so
jeez.
because then I'm not even gonna have the access anymore. But
Oh
um,
goodness.
no, two, three, and four are great tie-ins together. But I will say like the Punisher stuff is like awesome, awesome. But the Hector Ayala stuff is right there, man, right there. I really, really, really love that. And then of course like the Wilson Fisk stuff. But yeah, no, I mean
That,
overall, I mean, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was about to say, isn't it interesting that even in introducing Hector Ayala, they
Yeah,
gave him some they gave him some trauma. They gave him some inner
yeah,
trauma, right? Like
yeah,
you introduce him with him and his wife not being or his girlfriend
yeah,
not being
yeah,
on the same page
yeah.
because he's probably neglecting her doing all the vigilante stuff.
And not
Another
only that,
reason, another reason for Murdoch to feel right some
yeah,
type of way about him because he knows that life.
and not only that, you guys caught that they like introduced like the mystic
Yeah,
arts
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Daredevil.
yeah,
Like they talked about the talus, the tiger. Like they
yeah,
talked about that, and it's like wow, like it's weird because you never Netflix has always grounded this series where they never talk about the supernatural or the any of that. So to see Matt Murdock just kind of address it with
Out,
no issues,
yeah.
like
Like it's
outside of
already
Iron
been there.
Fist.
yeah,
Outside of Iron Fist, they didn't talk about the mystic.
well that's true, but I
Iron
mean like
Fist, they got into the mystical in on Netflix.
yeah, that's true, but like I just superhero powers and stuff like it's just weird. Like it's just what I mean. Like I thought it was cool. I thought it was really cool. But anything else about this episode two? Because it was a little shorter than the first one. I think it was like 47 minutes.
Yep.
The first one was a healthy 58. This one was 47. The shortest episode in the season is 39 minutes long, and I believe that is episode 8.
Okay.
Yeah, episode 8 is the shortest episode, but for the most part, and I have all the run times on our We Are Critics Instagram. If you guys want to go there, you can check out. I have the episode names and the run times of every episode, and for the most part, they're all a good 47 to 50 something minutes long. Good solid, almost an hour. So you're getting good story, hefty storylines, nothing to worry about. But I'm excited. I can't wait till we get back together because I know as soon as episode 3 is over, we're gonna have some shit to talk about.
Yeah, I'm back on
There's
your head.
actually there's actually
Huh?
something that I don't think anybody, a lot of people, seen
What's
in
that?
episode 2.
What's that?
When Matt was fighting, when Daredevil was fighting the people, the cops, the bad cops, did you see their arm?
Yeah,
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 the
yeah.
bone pop out.
No,
No,
no. The
the
tattoo.
tattoo.
Oh yeah, the tattoo. I saw it. They
Tattoo.
made it. They made a point to show it. Like
Yeah,
it almost froze on it for a
yeah,
second to show the
yeah.
tattoo.
And I meant to talk to you about that, Nick, because isn't there a storyline about copycats in the book?
I'm not.
I feel like there is.
I feel like there's a story of like other people going out doing their kind of vigilante thing, donning that.
That's that I but I couldn't I tried to look for it because I could have sworn I think I have the book, but I couldn't find anything. But I thought there was a storyline about that. I could have sworn we talked
Yeah,
about that
of like
before.
other people going off donning donning, and then him coming and saying something about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I listen, I can't really say much, but I'm glad you saw that because I saw that first time, first go around. I listen, I love you
Hold on,
Matt,
one more thing.
what's up?
I think they introduced one character already.
Let's see who.
We've seen him already. I'm
Who?
not gonna say is it inside of
Well, you
inside of the book read inside of the book signing.
The uh,
Oh,
you might be right.
um,
You might be right.
Little
I'll tell
pale
you,
guy.
let's not say nothing, but I will tell you this. I picked up on that same way
Okay,
you did.
okay.
And
I just want to.
it was simple because it's like it's modern TV, it's storytelling, and it's like trying to figure out who the killer in Scream is. You can narrow it down by the amount of people you see, who you see, why is this character here, that kind of
Okay,
thing. Yeah, so I picked up on that too. Same, I was like, and then I kind of forgot about it, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's gonna be yeah.
okay,
So yeah, you're on the right track.
okay.
One of
You're definitely on the right track.
my favorite low key moment of episode 2 when Wilson Fisk threatens the police commissioner,
Oh,
but
favorite
doesn't
cheesecake.
doesn't threaten him with death. Like he because right when you see him lift up the cheesesteak thing, you're thinking, oh, that's a wife and kid that he has,
Yeah.
and he's threatening to kill him, and then you realize, oh no, that's an illegitimate child. And Fisk has learned how to play the game without using that tactic, without using the
Yeah.
tactic of I'll kill you. He's
Yeah.
using the tactics that politicians use
Hmm.
in order to get things done. And so
Yeah.
again, I think it continues that line of feared and or loyal fear and loyalty, right? Like,
Yep.
Mm.
okay, I gotta rock with you because you know something that I don't ever want to get out. And
Yep.
like I just thought that was a small little thing as we continue to see these men try to be the person that they want to be, right? But
Yeah.
still just like you see the bubbling up of the I had to get a power move off because I'm Wilson Fisk, right? I had to get a power move off. I can't threaten to kill you. So this is what I'm gonna do. I thought it was great. And then he shitted on the sandwich. which was hilarious.
Yeah. Right. It's like dude tried to say D'Angelo's is better than Gino. It's like, come on, bro.
Yeah, you got to
You
stop
know
that.
Philly. Philly was wilding
Oh,
out.
they're gonna have a field day with that.
Yeah. Any last words, Nick, about episode 2?
It's better than one.
Yeah, way.
Way better.
Listen, they knew what they were doing about dropping 1 and 2 at the same time.
Yep. If
Honestly,
they
if they would
dropped
have dropped,
one,
uh,
they might have lost half the people. Like they may not have come back.
yeah,
They may have
yeah,
just been like, you know what, I'm out on this. If they had just
yeah,
a week to stew on it and just dissect all of the goofiness of one,
mhm, yeah,
like it would have, because now that you did 1 and 2 together, you almost can just like cut one in half and
hmm
just go from the second half of one into
hmm
two without
Listen,
even without even thinking about,
I'm
you know,
telling you guys,
it's like when you buy an album and you take all the songs off the album that you don't really want to listen to, and
yeah,
you just
I,
have the stuff on there that you want to listen to.
I'm telling you guys right now, and I put this on everything. I put my rep on the line as a movie critic, as anything. Going forth, this series never falls. I'm telling you right now, you're on a ride, and by the time you get to the end, you're gonna be like, "Give me more, give me more." Daredevil is back. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you now.
Hey,
Like, you've seen
I'm
the
in.
worst of it. You've
I'm
seen
in.
the worst of it.
I told you. The moment he was on the screen again, I was like, give
Yeah,
it back
you've
to
seen the
me.
worst of it. They nailed it. They matched the tone, the cast, and we talked about this, Nick. How like even the newbies, the newcomers coming in, even when they're on the screen with fists, they're holding their own. The young ones, like everybody is, and a lot of the bulk of the acting is in that political space. Um, because they try. I feel like Marvel's forcing the solo act on Matt so much so hard this season that primarily the ensemble stuff is all taking place in Fisk's circle. So, and I'm not mad at it. It works. It builds his character up into the best possible person that he's supposed to be. So yeah, that's really all I gotta say, guys. Any last words or anything? Because we gotta get out of here.
I'm waiting for episode 3. I'm waiting
Yeah,
Oh
for it.
I'm
man,
I'm
I'm
locked
waiting for
in.
the conversation about episode 3. I will be watching it again. I'm gonna watch the whole thing again tomorrow before I lose access. But yeah, I can't get enough. I can't get enough. It's good stuff. It's this is Daredevil is the best, absolute best thing that Marvel Studios has ever put out. I'm I'm just saying everything. You can go all the way back to Iron Man. I'm standing by it. Daredevil is the best thing that Marvel has ever put out. Ever.
Hey,
Hopefully by the
listen.
end of this season, I'm gonna
Huh?
be saying the same thing. Hopefully by the end of this season, I'll be saying the same thing.
Oh, no, I'm just listen. You can even exclude this. Exclude this season. What's better?
No, I'm. You're not getting any like argument from me. There's a lot of dope shit. So I mean,
You know,
I,
there's a
I'm
lot of
I'm
dope.
I'm good with it.
I'm, and I'm not talking about the ensemble stuff. Let's take the Avengers stuff out of it. Let's take that stuff out of it. We're
That
talking when you're
sucks.
talking about an individual character with arcs, story, stakes, action. Who's topping them?
Uh, Individual character arc story. You know what? This is a conversation that's got to be much longer than what we have right now.
Okay,
I'm
so
just
we're gonna
gonna
have to
say
do this. We're
this
gonna
is
have
a
to recap because
conversation
I'm
because I've
Team
got some
Daredevil all
thoughts.
day. I'm
I've got
Team
some thoughts.
Daredevil all
And by
day.
the
I'm
way,
Team
I'm
Daredevil.
okay with that. Like if you could easily convince me that Daredevil is it, but I've got some thoughts, and so it's a little bit more than I think we could roll with right now. But
Listen, it would probably be my second favorite, but they ruined that legacy. They ruined that legacy.
okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
So, but yeah, guys, listen. That was Daredevil episodes 1 and 2. Our recap, spoiler-ish recap. We will be back next week to do episode 3, which is absolutely one of my favorites. I cannot wait for all of you to see it because shit's about to go down, and you're not gonna believe it. And guys, I want to thank y'all for talking to me and sitting with me. Nick, tell them where they can find you, man.
You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, at Mayhem Madness, any social media platform. I'm there.
Word. And what about you, Gene? Where can they find you, bro?
Yeah, everywhere at Gene Clemens, anywhere that you do anything, and then also check out what we're doing over on the Coach Gene Clemens YouTube channel. If you like sports and entertainment, come holler at your boy.
I'm gonna make sure next time we more prepared and I got the names and stuff down at the bottom there, but y'all gotta be on time, Nick. Y'all gotta be on time. Guys, Clep Napier here from WeAreCritics.com. You guys know where to find me, Clep Napier. Clep CX on all platforms. And for our full season non-spoilerish review, non-spoiler, go to wearecritics.com or you can go to our YouTube, at Critics TV on YouTube. And I'll talk to you guys later, man. Thanks.